Spokane, Washington, boys, all the way from Seattle. One day, we did it. Woo! Just got picked up by the police. Nothing big. Arrived in Spokane, Washington tonight after getting 3 rides from Seattle. Super easy, didn't wait longer than 15 minutes for any ride. And it's pretty dark now, I'm just trying to get out of here, but I'm just gonna crash over here. Feeling good, feeling good. This was where I slept in Spokane. The next morning, Billy dropped me off from Spokane to Coeur d'Alene, which you see here has a nice lake. This was my longest wait of the whole trip. It was only about an hour and a half, but a lady had to come up, give me some food, and then give me a bit of an odd ride into Montana. Good morning. It's the 17th. I'm in Idaho. I don't know where. Kellogg, Idaho. We got a ride to Coeur d'Alene this morning from Spokane, and then we got here. So I'm trying to get to Montana soon. Going super fast. It looks like it's going to be really easy. And it's so pretty around here. So, yeah. Bye! These pictures are from a tiny little town called St. Regis in Montana. Hitching out of here was a bit difficult because there were a lot of homeless people around, which makes it tougher. But eventually Clint picked me up. So at one point, Clint took us down off the interstate, and we went down to this river, at where there was this kind of almost like a beach, as you can see, and it was really cool. It was like an authentic bit of Montana. It was where the locals go to hang out, and they like raft down the river. Yeah, it was really nice, and it was just stunning. By the way, this was one of the last actual proper rides of the trip. Yeah, it was an awesome one, and Clint gave me his number so that I could give him a call whenever. It was awesome. Yep, this is Teasers. It's 2:30 in the morning, and I'm waiting for Maddie to get up. It's been an interesting night, interesting experience. And there's a trucker right there, whatever. Yeah. Okay. So this obviously takes some explanation. After Clint dropped me off in Missoula, Montana, a young kid picked me up. He was very earnest, and he wouldn't take no for an answer, even though he was going only 3 miles. And I thought, fine, I'll take the ride. Even though I was in a really good spot, I took the ride, and he dropped me in a really bad spot. It was a truck stop with no traffic, and I was getting a little bit down, but so it goes. The trip had been good so far, and then I'm not even looking, and out of the corner of my eye, a black Volkswagen pulls up, and this young tiny girl pops her head out the window and asks what the hell I'm doing on the side of the road with my thumb out. And I say, I'm traveling X, Y, and Z, and she asks where I'm going, and I tell her, I say, Butte or Bozeman. Well, it turns out that is where she's going. Perfect. So I jump in, we get to talking, super easy, nice person, and she tells me her line of work, and then she suggests that I come tonight, since I had never been to a strip club, to observe the goings-on and, have that as an experience of the trip. So I agreed, being spontaneous as I am. And so that previous video clip was after me being there for 5 or 6 hours, and it was a pretty jading experience, as you can imagine, after that period of time. And then we went back to Bozeman to sleep, and then the next morning we got up and we drove through Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Park, which is where a lot of these photos are from. After passing through the national parks that day, we stumbled upon a town called Jackson in Wyoming, but it was like Queenstown basically, super expensive, nowhere to stay. So we drove about half an hour out of town to this amazing campsite in a canyon, essentially. We set up tent and everything's going well, and then crisis happens just as the sun sets. We have no cell phone service, and the keys are locked in the car. Now, everything's in the car, pretty much all of our clothes, food, everything, water, and it's going to be freezing tonight. All we have is like a tent set up, and that's it. And as we come to the realization that this has happened and that we're miles away from help, we just kind of curl up and try and go to sleep. Meanwhile, I think like moving a blanket, there was a jangle of keys and they fell out. Hooray. So at about 11 o'clock, we finally were able to get clothes, get food, brush your teeth, etc., etc., and the rest of the night was fine. And then I woke up the next morning to see the sunrise. Morning. This episode of Traveling with Jack comes to you from Hobart, Wyoming. It's about 6 in the morning and the sun is rising right there. I'm in this beautiful canyon. Don't know where it is, but we arrived here last night and it's a pretty full day. We got home from Three Forks to Bozeman at like 3 in the morning and then got to sleep, woke up, drove about 50 miles south to Yellowstone, and then pretty much spent the day going through Yellowstone, which was beautiful, it was incredible, and then went to Grand Teton National Park afterwards, which was also really nice, even better to be honest. Here's the sun this way, and then we came through the national parks to this town called Jackson, and then eventually to Hobart, which is where we are, and everything's going really well. I'm probably going to get to Salt Lake today and chill there for a couple of days and then head off home. But watching the sunrise, there's no complaints really. Everything is fantastic. Sorry, but I just had to capture the sunrise. It's spectacular. much it. Said goodbye to Maddie, so she began her 5-hour drive back to Bozeman, and I stood back on the side of the road. And the next few clips are from the last ride all the way to Salt Lake City. Last night in Salt Lake, it's been great, the trip's been fantastic. No more news, no more nothing, just back to normal life. And I miss it already. So it goes.